Hey everybody, it's Paul again. I'm just out here. My girlfriend Lisa, she's at the chiropractor right now, so I'm just sitting here in the truck and thought I'd pull up a video, make a video. I'm thinking about entitling this video Empathy. But before I go into that, I need to set up a little short story about empathy. When I was 35, I had starting a problem with one of my corneas. Over the years, they kind of from the glaucoma, the pressure, and even though most of the time it was normal pressure, it's still stress. It ended up tearing in the inside of the cornea. So one day I woke up and ended up having so much condensation in the eye from the tear of the cornea that it was like looking through a glass of milk, like I mentioned in my previous video. Ended up having this cornea transplant, and I was already blind in one eye, the left eye. The right eye cornea was going bad, so after the surgery, the procedure they took a cookie cutter and kind of like just made a perforated edge on the cornea, and take a pair of scissors and cut it around it and peel it off and put the new cornea from a donor on. Along with this holder, looks like a spider. They would put that on the eye, sew that onto the eye, and then center the cornea perfectly with that device, and then sew the cornea on, and then remove the sutures for the holder that looks like a spider, and then that's the waiting game. It was a year of recovery before I went back to work on that one. But to get to my point at the end of the surgery, the recuperation took a very long time. I started struggling. I wanted to know a lot of things. And I thought to myself, there's got to be somebody out there that's had the same thing I do. And I don't mean, just somebody, a lot of people have cornea transplants. But to find somebody who had a cornea transplant and their good eye started going bad and they're blind in the other is very hard to find. Now, this was back in 2000, so the internet, wasn't like today. So at that time, my ex-wife, who was my wife at the time in 2000, she's now my ex, she was searching the internet for hours. I drove her crazy. I said, there's got to be somebody out there. I need empathy, not sympathy. I need somebody that went through the same thing right now so that I can expect answers. So after several hours, we did find somebody. And they weren't very far away. They were only about 80, 90 miles away. This person could have been in China. But it turned out to be only 90 miles away. So we met and we talked, and it turns out he had the same thing I did, and he's blind in one eye and had the cornea transplant in the other. But his was opposite. His was the opposite eye of mine. So he's blind in the right eye and I'm blind in the left eye. So when we used to kid around when we walked to each other side by side. If he was to my right and I was to his left, I said together we make a perfect person, because we have two good eyes together. Anyways, after a few weeks of that, I started feeling bad and feeling sorry for myself, and so I contacted him and just wanted answers like, you know, how long did it take? When can I go back to work? And here's where it gets really interesting. He mentioned that, Paul, you will see again, and you need to, what are you doing? And I said, I'm just resting. I mean, I organized my sock drawer. I'm doing something. I can't do much. It's way too blurry. I can't see anything. And he said, you need to give back to God, and you need to give back to the community. And I'm like, I started getting angry, because I'm like, God, the universe, they took it away from me, my sight. And he said, no, you need to give back because you're blessed. Somebody donated their cornea, and you're struggling right now, but you will see again. Things just take time on this cornea transplant. So I started volunteering because of him. I volunteered at Lexington Health Center, and I was visiting people who had multiple sclerosis, who were bedridden, and ended up doing that on days that I was by myself all day, because my ex was working on long days. There were a couple days out of the week where she did long hours, and ended up going there. I just would walk. I could, see shadows. I could see the sidewalk and grass. So I would walk 3 miles to this place and meet wonderful people that had MS, and I would just be there to visit with them, sit with them and talk. And the guy that I met who had the same surgery as me, who suggested I do this, he said that when you volunteer, the people will love you so much, Paul, they won't let you go. And he was right. They didn't want me to go when it was time to go. But that helped me out immensely. And I ended up in the newspaper, Chicago Tribune and the Daily Herald. And there was one other, the Elgin Courier. I believe the one in the Tribune is called Man Helps Himself by Helping Others. And I believe that was in February of some time. I think that was 2001. February 2001. So if you want to search it, you could probably find that and read about it. So I just wanted to tell you that empathy is a very powerful thing, and that was a perfect example of empathy. And I told you this is one of the things that the channel is about, and I just wanted to share that with you today. So I hope you got something out of that, and stay tuned for more videos. You guys take care. Bye-bye.